person usually told how happy I am.
Is this a new Marilyn, a new style?
No, I'm the same person, but it's a different suit.
Welcome to Marilyn Monroe-A-Thon. That's the name I chose, and now I'm stuck with it. And this is where we look at the starring roles of the Hollywood star Marilyn Monroe. Today we're talking about How to Marry a Millionaire, an ensemble piece comedy movie about three models on the hunt for millionaire husbands. Just to give any younger viewers a quick history lesson, a million used to be a lot of money. Having millions of dollars meant you were among the higher echelons. And then money lost all of its meaning and none of it matters. None of it matters.
New York, New York, you high and mighty, bright and shiny, fabulous place, New York.
So I think this movie is set in Chicago. So this is a story of three models. Paula, played by Monroe, who is blonde, dumb, and can barely see 2 inches in front of her without her glasses. Finally, a character I can relate to. Loco, played by Betty Grable, who is blonde, dumb, and loves eating food. Finally, a character I can relate to. And Shotzi, played by Lauren Bacall. She's the smart one. I wonder why. You know, I shouldn't be that cynical about it. Playing direct, no-nonsense women was basically Bacall's MO, and once again she gives a wonderfully charismatic performance as down-to-earth Shotzi, love saying that, who came up with the actual strategy to get the three of them married off to rich husbands. Shame that plan started off with her fobbing off Tom Brookman, thinking he's not worth a dime, only for the audience to find out he's actually rich. Really rich. Like taking business calls while scratching his shoe with a golf club rich. Oh gee, I wonder if they end up together. Also, Tom is played by Cameron Mitchell, who I actually, not kidding, only recognise the name of because of his role in Space Mutiny. See, I can get all dressed up and I can pretend I'm into old Hollywood, but it's all lies. I love trash. And so they're on the hunt, each finding a fella on the same evening, and why aren't ladies' rooms like this anymore?
You know what they say about girls who wear glasses?
Yeah, they can see. Ah, so relatable. So Loco has paired up with Waldo Brewster, who is not played by Richard Kind's dad. I checked. And she's not really that into him, mostly because of a he's already married issue, but she reckons she'll meet some of his rich buddies when she travels up to the lodge with him. Shotzi has met up with the very classy and good-natured J.D. Hanley, and Paula has paired off with a Bond villain. Oh, he's had laser eye surgery. As in, he's had a laser embedded into his eye because he's a Bond villain! And he has invited her to join him on his tropical island, where his compound has been built into the side of a volcano and guarded by a fleet of highly trained hammerhead sharks. The sharks also wear eye patches. So we'll take this one story at a time, and starting with Loco going off to the lodge and quickly realising she won't be meeting any young rich bucks. She demands to go home straight away.
Where do you want these? Back in the car.
She's not going to put out. But that's going to have to wait because she quickly realises she's developing measles and will have to stay. Wait, it's the 50s. She could die from that! Because the measles vaccine wasn't introduced until the 60s. And then it sort of dropped off a cliff. For God's sakes, get vaccinated! She unfortunately passes it on to not Richard Kind's dad, and that gives her time to fall in love with the ranger who takes care of the grounds that she mistakenly thinks means he owns the land and is one of those millionaires she's trying to marry. I am choosing to call this character Slab Rangerfield. I will not change my mind.
It was creamy.
Oh yeah, quick side tangent. These ladies keep using the word creamy to describe anything that they think is good.
Sounds just creamy to me. I think it's just creamy.
Stop trying to make creamy happen. It's not going to happen, Gretchen. But then Loco finds out the terrible truth. Slab isn't a millionaire.
I'm crazy about you, but
I love him, but he's not rich. What is happening? So then not Richard Kind's dad recovers and they're able to set off. Well, now we both hate her. And he regales her with all the other ways he cheats on his wife.
Worked like a charm.
that sounds very intelligent.
Yeah, but I think that says more about you than her, mate. And as they're returning to the city, he's pulled over by the comeuppance police. Ah! Rumbled! Anyway, let's see what Paula's up to. Well, she's fully embracing the evil lifestyle and is joining her new maniacal squeeze in Kansas City. The most evil of all the cities. Darling, I need you to seduce 007. But it turns out he's a fake. He's not a millionaire either. I bet he could only rent his death lasers. But don't worry, it's okay, because thanks to her short-sightedness, she ended up boarding a plane to Atlantic City. Because it's the 50s, and apparently you could just do that. But that means that she gets seated with Freddie Denmark, the man who actually owns the building the ladies are living in. But thanks to issues with his accountant and the IRS, he's been sneaking around in the background of the movie. During that sneaking, he's bumped into Paula twice before, so they've already got their meet cute out of the way. And now they're sitting together and getting to know each other, and Freddie asks about the fact that she clearly needs glasses and why she refuses to.
Well, you know what they say about girls who wear glasses.
Yeah, they can see! But he encourages her to put on her glasses and wear them with pride. And this is all it takes for her to instantly fall in love with him. Okay, it's kinda cute. Meanwhile, Shatsy is the only one still with her head in the game, and she is still pursuing her wealthy widower, JD. Heir to the sports store empire! And I'm just gonna take an aside to mention how charming JD is. He's lonely, the kids have flown the coop, and he just wants to spend time with a lovely young lady whose company he enjoys. And when he realises things are going to get more serious because yes, he is falling in love with her, he steps back. Not for his sake, but for hers. And leaves her with a friendly pat on the arm. Oof. So to take her mind off things, she decides to yield to Tom's constant haranguing to go on a date with him. The lesson here being that if you do bother a woman long enough, she will say yes. Completely willingly. And they have this running joke through it where she ends every date by saying, "I never want to see you again." And I know it's meant to be cute because we know they're going to end up together, but imagine 20 years and 3 kids later. At this point, Shatsy still thinks Tom doesn't have 2 cents to rub together, and he keeps trying to convince her that money isn't the most important thing in the world. Easy for him to say. But she has a rebuttal all ready to go.
Do you seriously believe that having money automatically brings you happiness?
Oh, no, but it doesn't automatically depress me either.
I mean, I can't argue with the logic. Look, we live in a society where we need money for just about everything. Not just luxury items, but also basic living expenses. I've tangled with Lady Poverty. She fights dirty. Money might not be the key to happiness, but it sure does make enjoying life a whole lot easier. But Shatsy doesn't have to worry for long because JD changes his mind. Don't worry, he's rich, he's allowed to do that. And comes back tall, dark and loaded.
Something wrong, Mrs. Page?
Well, it's my wedding day and you're still making my dress. These are my friends, Rich, Richie Rich, Richard III, and Dick Cash. He carries the checkbook. Loco and Paula arrive just in time for the ceremony to support Shatsy and, you know, compare husbands like they're Magic the Gathering card decks. But she's having second thoughts about going through with the wedding, and JD, like Mrs. Carroll and Ladies of the Chorus, has already figured out what's going on. So he decides to save the day and fetches Tom and smokes a victory cigar for having rescued these 2 people from their own stubbornness. So the girls are married off and they go off to a greasy spoon to celebrate. Which just sounds like the best wedding reception ever, just good friends and a proper full English. And this is where Tom reveals that he really does have literal stacks on stacks. And that's only a fraction compared to what he made for starring in Space Mutiny. That's why the effects were so bad. The budget all went to Cameron Mitchell's fee. Oh god, I feel so bad. He was an accomplished actor and I only know him from riff tracks and Mystery Science Theatre. Right, so we all know How to Marry a Millionaire now. What do we think of this movie? It's a bit unfair that this film comes right after Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. That was such a solid film. In comparison, this one is kind of slow and the pacing is really off in places. It doesn't help that this was basically 3 different stage plays squeezed into one. There's so many unanswered questions. Whatever happened to the fake Bond villain? Did Mr. Kind ever re-inherit his daughter? Did Freddie ever settle his issues with the IRS? Or did he and Paula have to live on the lam for the rest of their days? So many questions we'll never get the answers to. But looking at the positives, we've got 3 of Hollywood's greatest leading ladies together on screen. Monroe is on her comedy game, as usual. Also, there is this scene where she performs the most dangerous stunt in film history. You don't see Tom Cruise doing that, do you? Betty Grable is simply adorable. If anyone knows where I can get a decent copy of that Grable pinup, let me know. And Lauren Bacall? Oh, Lauren Bacall is my newest Hollywood crush. She's smart, cool-headed, and always ready with a sarcastic comeback. In fact, keep an eye out for my new series, Grable and Lauren Bacall, coming soon. It's not one of the greatest Monroe flicks, but for a lazy afternoon and you need something a bit fluffy and light to enjoy, it's pretty creamy. Next time, I'll be looking at the 1954 Western River of No Return. And I bet there are some people who didn't even know she did a Western. Tune in next time and find out why.
Really flying the music. Okay.